Hello everyone, welcome back. I am Neeraj. In this session, I am going to add the create a new post functionality to our Chai Router demo application. In our article list, so we will have a button over here labeled as create new post. And when user clicks on that button, so we will render a form and we will replace this content inside this content placeholder with a form so that user can fill the form and we will submit the form data and we will save the new post into our database. So this is what we are going to do. So let's do that. So let us dive into VS Code. So here we are, and we have to create two new routes. So one route would be the get route that will render the form, and second route would be to actually handle the post data. So let us create the very quickly. Let us create the two routes. So r dot first r dot get, and the route would be post and create. And I'm going to create the handler function. So it will be create post handler. Okay. And second also that would be a post request. So my thinking is here is that however we can create new handlers, but I think like it's better that we will have one single handler and that will collect the both the get route get request as well as the post request, and this business logic we will write in the handler itself. So the route has been created, and now so we will need to create the handler function. So very quickly, so in order to save the time, so we can copy this, and we will very simply just simply say create post handler. Okay, so this thing is fine, but instead of a string, so it will be interface because we may need to pass on the arbitrary data, and we will also need to create a new template. So let us create the template first. So inside the pages, so we will create a new file and we will say post form.html. This is going to be very simple form. So we will need only two form elements, one for the title and the description. So as per our uh, database table columns. So very simply, so this is the form. So I started with a form tag, and I'm having some div, and in this div, so some say applied some CSS stuffs, and the AJAX. So it would be a post request to the our this route this post route, and very simply this is a very simple form. Okay, so let's save it. And we will come in the our in this handler and create post handler. So we will need to provide the post and the name of our post form.html. So this way, so when we initiate a request to render the form, so we will have this form ready. So we will come back to our this one, this article list. And here what I'm going to do is that I am going to have a start a div, and we will have a button, and let's say we will say create new post. Okay, and let's save it. And okay, so here it is. So this is appearing, but this is not clickable, so we need to bind the appropriate stuffs. Okay, so no problem. So also I think like we should give it some class. Let's say bg green, and 500 padding of 3. I think that should look good. Okay, fine. So and we will say AJAX get and the request would go to post create, and the target would be, better we can copy it from here. Actually, developers are they are considered to be very lazy person. Okay, so that way, so we will save the time also. And okay, looks like there is some error. What error it is? No problem. Let us see what went wrong. Our post form.html. Okay, the path was not right. So now it will find the correct template. Okay, fine. So this is our form. So we can pass on the, like, let's say title, or let's say test title, and test description. Okay, so the form is ready, and now we have to write the logic to collect this post form data, and we need to save that data into the database, right? So this part is done. The kit, the actually this is let's label it is at the get part. So and now we have to work on the post part. So in order to work on the post part, so first of all, so we need to check the post method. So we will can very simply say r dot method. So and we will check if the method is post, then only we will need to do the uh, post related stuff. Okay, and first of all, so here if the method is post, then we need to parse the form body. So in order to do that, so the request object, this request coming from the HTTP request, so it is having very nice methods. So we will say we will use parse form, and that way, so we will parse the form body, and we can fetch the individual form elements by using the keys. So let's say we will create few variables. So title is equal to, we will say r dot post form dot get, and simply pass on the key. And likewise, I'll duplicate it, and we will say again the second element is description, and title and description. So we have collected this two form elements, and now we can write the very simple native SQL queries. So we will say insert into, the name of our table is posts, and we will need to insert into title and description and values. And here we will need to provide the we will while we prepare execute this query. So we will provide we will need to have some way so that we can substitute the actual values. So that way, so we will have two, so $1 and $2. So while this query would be executed, so this $1 would be bind with the first provided element, and the second, the this $2 would be bind with the second element. So there very shortly we are going to see that, no problem. And now we will need to execute the prepare the query actually. So in order to prepare the query, so we will need to have the database connection, and we will say prepare, and as we will provide the our statement. Very simple, so far so good. And also we will need to, cause there may be some errors, so we will need to check the error as well. If error is not nil, then we will log the error. Simple. Okay, And if everything goes well up to this point, then we will need to execute it. So in order to execute the query, so we will need to execute the query against this object. So this prepare a statement that returns a SQL statement, and so that we can execute it. So we will simply use execc, and here we are going to provide those variable that would be substituted in the our query. So our first variable would be title, and second would be description. So that way, so when this query would be executed, once this query gets prepared, and when this query gets executed, so this title would be replaced with the $1, and this description would be, the value of the description would be substituted at this place, $2. Okay. So it also returns some errors. So we will also need to check if error is not nil, then log.println and simply say error. And if uh, everything goes well up to this point, then we can check the whether we how many rows got affected. So this so we can use this rs.rows affected, and it returns two things. So rows affected, and it also returns some error, but we can suppress it using the underscore, and we can say log.println and say rows affected and this variable. So this is just for this sake that we can make sure that okay, so how this many rows got affected. So our post business logic is also done, and we can test it out. So let's say we save this form, and in our we can check in the okay, looks like there is some error. Okay, so column description does not exist. Okay, description. Okay, there was a typo actually. Let us restart the server again. Use air, and let us test again. So click save. So looks like rows, yes, rows affected 1, and we can check in our database also. So this new record has got added. So this test title and test description. And we can also have some message over here whenever a new record, new post got created. So we can have a let's add the message also. So in our post one, so we can check here if rows affected is greater than 0. That means new that, or we can also check for the equality, exact equality equal to 1. Then we are going to have a, let's say, success, and we can say a message post created successfully, or let's say post successfully created. Okay, and in our template, so here just below create new post, so we can have, or better we can have a div, and we will move this to upward. We will wrap inside this div, and we will say success. And we can also have some CSS classes as well. And let's say we want a padding of 2, and font bold. So let's try to add another post. So we will say third post and third post content. So let's save. So we are getting this message, post successfully got created. So there is no error and rows affected is also 1. So let's check in the database. So F5. So we are getting third post. So third post is there. So that way we can also come here in the article list and let's say click on the third post. So we are getting the third post, this post description and the post title also. So that way, so we have successfully completed the one, this create a new post route handler. And we have used the native, purely native stuffs like database SQL. And next, we will work on the editor post functionality. And we will also have to delete the post, and that will complete this whole Chai router demo application, and we will deploy that inside a Docker environment. So that's all for this session, and I'll see you next. So till then, take care and happy coding.